Howdy. Howdy, howdy. Okay. Oops, that's not the file I wanted. Alrighty. 3, 2. Oh, actually, hold on. Sorry about that. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty. Thanks. This is Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn. It was also ported to the PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. Although this is the best version by a long shot. So basically, in each stage, you start out as one of the two human characters, and you get your orbs taken away. Go to the gazebo, and the goal of each stage is to collect 20 of these blue chips. And go into that thing and get the orb from it, and then go back to the start, and then you'll start a new lap. So basically, this game's like played in a 2.5D perspective. Basically, all the environments, most of the models are in 3D, and you have your basic movement, just like moving in all the directions. And then if you hold either A, B, or C, you can do a boost, which is like your main form of speed. You're limited by a gauge, but we're going to pick up this icon right here, which maxes out our boost gauge so that we can use it for the rest of the level. Most of the stages have one. And there's two that we don't get that, and we just have to manage our gauge. If you go through like these rings, they refill a bit of your boost gauge. Orange refills a little bit, yellow refills it a bit more. And whoops. And then you can also do paraloops to pull in orbs from farther distance, or just to get a circle of them. And we'll definitely be abusing that in a couple of later stages to get orbs that we normally aren't able to get, because it's also able to pull orbs from all dimensions. And that yellow trail that was following me, basically, if you have that, you can do tricks for extra points. But since this is a speed run, we're just going to go as fast as we can. Whoops. So sometimes you can do something called an air brake to cancel your loop to get a smaller loop, a smaller, faster loop. But once in a while, it'll just launch you in some random direction. I don't try to do it too often, just because of that fact. And so for this first boss, we're going to kill it in one hit, hopefully. There's like a little trick on the Saturn version. If you hold right when going in, it won't do a dive that wastes about like 5 to 6 seconds. And after each stage, there's one boss. They're all fairly unique. So we're gonna go like that, do a lazy kind of loop, and just kill its tail. Normally, you attack its face. Takes about 20 hits to kill, about 30 to 40 seconds. But if you just do a paraloop its tail, you can kill it in under 10 seconds. And that's actually an intentional thing in the game, because that's the only way you can get a max score for that, or max multiplier for that boss fight. Then after each stage, it just goes back to the title screen. Normally, I would do a soft reset to skip like this little hint screen, but due to how unstable soft resets can be, I'm just gonna go do it normally. Because once in a while, you'll either accidentally restart a level, or hard reset to the BIOS screen, because it's basically something built within the Saturn. If you do a soft reset at a title screen, it'll reset to the BIOS. And sometimes it considers other screens the title screen. So you notice, like, so far in these two stages, we just go straight to the gazebo here. In the next stage, it'll change. And it'll change for a few stages. So this is one of the two stages where we don't get a boost icon, so we have to manage our boost by trying to go through as many rings as we can to keep our meter up, so that we can continue to go fast. So instead of just going right, we're going to go back left because it's faster to get back to the gazebo. And for this next portion, there's exactly 20 orbs before the Marin, which is what those cages are called. And we're going to do a paraloop here to reveal some hidden orbs. And then get 5 more down here. and then we just go straight into the cage. And then we're gonna go up here, follow the ring trail, just to keep our meter up. And now for this one, we're gonna go left instead of right, so that we can do it in a single lap, because there's exactly 20 orbs on this lap by going this way. So basically, normally the game encourages you to go right, because basically it's just always pointing in that direction. But you're free to go either right or left. But there are some stages where you're only forced to go one way because of like an auto-scroller or something. So basically, each stage in this game is like technically in a dream. I guess that'd be the best way to put it. Knights is rebelling against the ruler of nightmares, and needs the help of people who are trapped in the dreams to, I guess, save the dream world. Something like that. I don't know, it's a very nonsensical story. The main focus is actually playing the game itself. But as far as like the game goes, there's a lot of like little Easter eggs. Like there's like a score bonus you can get for parking the car in the stage, in that overhead section. So now we're gonna go to the second boss, Gopo. Basically, you'll be fighting like on a cylindrical plane, and the boss will be in the middle. The only way you can damage it is these fishies that pop up. And if you hit him consecutively, it deals multiplied damage. You can kill him as little as 3 hits if you're really good on your timing. But messed that up pretty badly. But luckily, you still get the 5 hit, although it was a little bit slow. And for whatever reason, this boss has a very long, not necessarily death animation, but the wait between when he dies and when the score tallies at the end and gives you your final ranking is very long for no apparent reason. So this game actually has a controller that was designed just for it, called the Saturn 3D pad. Basically, it's a Saturn controller with an analog stick, well, not stick, but an analog kind of like nub kind of thing put on it. And it's like in the same design as the Dreamcast controller, but a bit more comfortable to hold. And so it's basically just, they wanted to give the game analog movement, so they designed a controller just for the game. Because before that, the Saturn only had a D-pad for basically your general movement and stuff. And then there are a lot of other games that made use of it. So for this stage, we're going to do the first Marin on foot. It has its own mechanics. You can jump for speed. You can chain jumps for more speed and more distance. And there's like 2 different types of jumps you can do. There's like you're actually 3 types. You have your regular jump, you have a high jump, and then you have a super jump. Generally, we'll stick to just the high jump here when we can, because if you chain your high jumps, you'll gain a lot of speed. And it has an infinite speed cap. What? Oh my god, I was 1 orb short and I didn't pay attention. Oh well. Marathon things. So that's gonna slow me down a little bit. Just what I get for not paying attention. So, but technically I'm supposed to get all 20 orbs and destroy it beforehand. So in this room, you want to try to avoid touching the ceiling and the floor, because you'll just basically bounce off it and lose all your momentum. And that was actually a pretty good room. Because when you bounce off the walls in this stage, you just like go to a complete dead stop. Because for like the walls are like really soft, I guess. So here we're gonna get another boost icon. And this stage, we're gonna do something to skip the auto scroller. So because the auto scrollers are slow, don't want to do them if we don't have to. So there's exactly 18 orbs we can normally get, and then very tricky. So we're gonna collect some secret orbs here. And then I'm just gonna get the 20 orbs we need. And try to avoid like that. There's a little line there that does like some sparks or something, and sometimes it'll get in your way. And whenever you get hit, use 5 seconds at a time, in addition to like additional 5 seconds of being stunned. Okay, so for this boss, he throws cards at you, and while he has his cape, ideally you want to throw him like as vertical as possible so that, ooh. Okay, there we go. Keep him away from his cape, that's the goal. There we go. And not a bad fight, lost a couple seconds to just hit throwing him the wrong way. But that's the fight that throws a lot of people off. He's a very difficult boss when you don't know what to do, especially since his card throws are homing, so you have to just move just right to avoid it. Because whenever he hits you with a card, he moves farther back. So it's a very trolly fight if you're new to the game. And like the main appeal for this game is score attack, but I don't know. I just found going fast a lot more fun. So you notice I skipped a stage there. Basically, both characters have the same final stage, so we're not going to do it twice. And now we're getting into Elliot's levels. The first 2 levels, we're going to be doing both first section on foot, and this is the level where we can really showcase jump chaining to really get build up speed. Now, while there is an infinite speed cap for the jumps, I mean, there's only so far you can go on the stage to really, you know, abuse it. So let's see. So see, just like that, I can get all the way back to the start. Okay, that. So you're just gonna get get all the orbs we need, and then we're gonna go take these rings just to give us a little bit of extra boost. Because like this is another stage where we don't get the boost icon. Like there is a boost icon, but we'd have to go out of the way and waste a significant portion of time to get it. So here we want to go here, and then up, and then ooh, I missed a couple of orbs. Oh well, I'm just gonna accept that. And then go through here, and if you go through there just right, you'll get all the orbs. If you don't, then, you know, it's just, you gotta go through it again. And then we're gonna go back through it, because it's faster to go back than it is to keep going right. It's actually fairly laggy to go right, because there's an overhead section that has a lot of slowdown. And then here, we're gonna do another super para loop. We want to get at least 10 orbs. Perfect. And then get those, and then exactly 20 orbs, and basically what we're doing is skipping another auto-scroller that's an underwater section. It's actually a pretty neat auto-scroller, but, you know, just can't go that way. And now here we're going to go into a boss called Puffy, which is basically a giant balloon woman, I guess, and all she does is bounce around, and what we want to do is hit her through the walls and pop her. And this fight can be a bit... It's not a hard fight by any means, but it can be very trolly. Because, like, for some random reason, she can just hit you. And we're having a very good fight, actually. Although, that was kind of bad. Oof. Okay, so yeah, things can go bad like that. Just like throwing her the wrong way. And there we go. So it started out really good, but, you know, lost some time. It's just how it is. But the run overall is very consistent, very short, under 30 minutes for a pretty decent run. And there's little to no RNG. Like, the only RNG that really is like there's these little artificial life things called Nighttopians. Sometimes they'll spawn their eggs in random like terrible places, and you'll accidentally like bump into it and lose a little bit of time because you hatch their eggs and stuff. But other than that, it's a very consistent game. So now we're going into the snow level called Frozen Bell. We're going to do part of the first lap on foot. And basically we're going to go into the trees and collect some chips there. And so basically, when you get knocked over, a cutscene plays of those orbs going to the each of the cages. And there's no reason to see them if we don't have to. There we go. So then we're going to go over here, collect some more orbs, and then collect the rest up here. And then as again, we go back into the gazebo. And then this stage is the only auto-scroller that we actually intentionally do, just because there's no possible way to skip it. Because there are some orbs that are collectible, but not enough. Like maybe at the best you could do like 5 orbs. Maybe 6 if you're lucky. But that's on the 4th lap. Okay. So luckily there's a boost icon here, so we don't have to worry about them. I want to get 6 orbs there, and then there's a cage here with 8 more. And then the rest is there. And there's the boost icon. Not going to get it just yet. There we go. That way I can just do it in one fluid motion. And that's one thing I really love about this game, is the movement is really fluid, and I don't know, there's just something special about it. Whoops. Normally I try to get around that, but just happen to lose my control just for a second. So now we're in the auto-scroller, we're riding a bobsled. We want to get as many orbs as we can, of course, but there's a minimum number I'd like to hit. And we actually exceeded that minimum number, so we got everything we need. Now we can just go straight to the Marin and take the orb and go back. But I want at least a total of 16, but 18 would be ideal, so that I can get 20 orbs. So normally I'd have 2 orbs going down in the auto-scroller, but since I hit the Marin, I had less. But, I mean, it gives you an indicator. So now, for this boss is Claws. Basically, all we have to do is just destroy all his things. The ones that are lit you can dash through, but the ones that aren't, you have to do a paraloop. And the idea is just to speed things up, so that he has nowhere else to jump. So there's one down there I didn't destroy because he can't jump to it from where his last position is. And that was a very smooth, near optimal fight. It's about almost as good as it can get. And now we're going to be entering Elliot's final stage, Stick Canyon, which is it's considered the hardest stage in the game. There's 3 auto-scrollers in it. We'll be skipping them all, but the auto-scrollers are very time-consuming. People normally go through them, and you'll run out of time, and usually game over if you don't know what you're doing. So what I'm going to try to do here is a trick to jump on top of this cactus. It'll basically give me control during this cutscene, and it allows me to do a little swag. And just like that, we also skip like a falling animation. So now we get the boost refill real early here, and it'll basically hold us through until near the end of the level. And now we're gonna skip an auto scroller here. There's exactly 20 orbs before the Marin, or before the auto scroller rather, and so we have to get them all. Wow, I didn't get a single orb. Okay. And so like those are magnets there that push you away, and then they blow up after a while. So there's exactly 24. If we hit that grate there, we'll be plunged into an auto scroller that wastes about 30 seconds or so. It's very lengthy, but luckily we don't have to hit it. So now for this third one, it's pretty straightforward. There's like this lever here we have to hit to get out of the gravity field. And then we're going to go into a magnetism room where everything just kind of sticks to us. Okay. And then, doesn't matter what your score is here, it always takes the same amount of time to count it out. Okay. And now we're going to go into the fourth mare, which is the one where most people struggle with casually and in a speed run. So basically, we're going to go up this tower here. Okay, kill that. And we're gonna have this angle. We're gonna have this angle for both going up and down. And we want to get 20 orbs. Okay, perfect. Oof. Okay, and then right after this section is an auto-scroller that leads to another auto-scroller, and it's about 60-70 seconds of auto-scrollers. Okay, so I accidentally hit one of those. Whoops, just running into stuff. So now we have to go down this, just like this, with the camera pointing upwards. So we can't see what's below us. And there's things coming down from up above that's damaging us and wasting our time. This is a pretty tough part for speedrunner and casually. But luckily the boss afterwards is fairly easy. We'll be fighting our evil counterpart Riala. Basically all we have to do is get 3 pair of loops around them. But they also like kind of mimic what you do. So you kind of have to just be faster than them. And you can move around a little bit in the background too. It says something in their weird language. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so I kind of screwed that up. There we go. And sometimes, for whatever reason, he doesn't like doing his boost, and it kind of messes with my rhythm. Come on. There we go. So that was a bit slow. Normally I'd get like a 107, 108, maybe even a 106, but just bad movement on my part. Despite what some people say that he's saying "There you are, knights," I don't think that's what he's saying. All right, now we're going into the final stage, Twin Siege, which you can only access per character if you have a minimum of a final C rank across all the levels for that character. And that's one that throws a lot of people off too, because they'll see the icons there, but they can't access them, and it doesn't tell you anywhere in the game that you need a minimum C rank. You just have to kind of guess. So for this stage, and it's unique in the fact that you don't play as knights. You play as either Elliot or Claris, one of the 2 characters. And we're just going to jump off here. For whatever reason, that gives us the power of flight. And unlike other stages, there are 4 laps, but there's only 1 timer. So we have 180 seconds to complete everything. And we can't do paraloops. But we do get a larger attract range on orbs. So for the first 2 mares, there's exactly 20 orbs between them, or for them. And we're going to collect a little bit of extra dash here. Because there's no dash icons, since we can't paraloop, we can't discover hidden icons. So we're gonna go through as many as these we can. And if you see the link on the bottom, basically the more links you go through, the bigger your score bonus is. And so now here, instead of continuing going forward, we're gonna do an air brake there, turn around, and just do this backwards. Basically, we skip a bunch of the stage by doing this. And then we're going to do that once again after like these little boosters here. And then we'll just go back down here and ooh. Oh well. And there's exactly 20 orbs that we can collect here. Ooh. And pesky umbrella or balloons. Okay, so that was a little bit slow, just because we got hit by a couple things. So now here, we can mash a button to break the shield. The other character will come in as well. And then we'll be fighting the main guy himself as knights, double knights. Like, there'll be 2 instances of knights where we control one, the other one basically copies what we do. And basically we'll need to get 4 hits on this boss, and there's 4 different phases that we can experience. Normally, you'll experience them all at least once, but sometimes it decides not to do that. And so we control one nice, the other one follows us. The only way we can damage is if we're both touching Wise Man's shield. So we're going to start out by going down, then... Ooh, I went up a little too far. Okay, good. Sometimes he can really troll you with the fireballs and you can get caught in them for a while. So first stage is fireballs, second stage is like a bunch of asteroids. And then the third stage is going to be throwing giant snowballs at us. And we don't want to get hit by them, because then we'll just grab onto it and get spun around for a bit. And get pushed back. And now for the final stage, get tornadoes. If you boost through the middle at the right time, you'll just go right through it. But you have to press the boost button. And time will be coming up when the screen fades to white. I'll call that. And this is Nights into Dreams. A very fun arcadey tile with lots of good replay value. And time. Well, I mean, I like it because it's consistent. And it's also really good for score attack value, too. Like, there's like an entire score attack community. That's like how kind of the speedrun started, was from score attacks. Because basically, how score attacks work is that you need to first kill the Marin as fast as possible, then you get double points, and then you ride on that double points until you need to go back to the Zeba, which is like at the very last second. But yeah, Nights into Dreams. Elliot's here is gonna be a baller and do a slam dunk and show all these kids who's boss. And thanks for having me. Maybe next year I'll submit 2 whole games. Because I also got Burning Rangers, which is another amazing Sega title. Well, what about Panzer Dragoon? Well, there's 3 Panzer Dragoon games. And then there's also Sonic R. Stall. Oh, it's a great little platformer release title. Or launch title. Yeah, I kind of have a thing for the Sega Saturn. Go buy a Sega Saturn, speedrun some Saturn games, and you'll be my friend. And also, Magic Knight Rayearth is a wonderful anime waifu speed game. Thanks for having me.